This is Fred Beck from Fred Beck Exciting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fights John, joined by Lauren Alexis in Dubai. It's my last night in Dubai. You've got a few more days here.
It is also my last night in Dubai. Yeah, I fly back tomorrow afternoon.
Back to England, or straight to Texas?
No, back to England and then Texas on Thursday or Friday. Yeah.
And you're gonna do some work at the Misfits event out there.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna see what there is around. I'm gonna do some backstage stuff, get some stuff for socials, try and interview a few of the guys, and yeah, I mean, see who's there, of course, because I have no idea who's attending. So yeah.
It's always on fight night where you always get the random celebs that turn up you never expect to be there, or the other YouTubers. So fight night's the one where it's always a bit uncertain, but then fight week is going to be there. The normal ones. But how would you compare what your job is now to doing the interviews? And what are the kind of similarities and differences to it?
I feel like every time I've been doing the interviews, I've been almost getting better and better at it, because I kind of went in, I knew about boxing and I had slight knowledge, but I'm not going to sit here and say I knew loads about it. But I feel like I'm like my knowledge is better. I've been watching it more and I'm enjoying it more. So yeah, I think I've been flowing better and I'm enjoying it as it goes. But it's obviously very different to my normal job, because my normal job is OnlyFans, YouTube, Instagram. So it's different to that, but I like it. I really like it.
Do you plan your interviews? Like, what questions are you going to ask?
I work better not scripted, even if like any kind of content, it could be YouTube video, it could be TikToks, anything. I always work better not scripted, and I feel like if I'm scripted, I'm sitting there with a microphone in front of me thinking, oh my god, I have to say this, whereas if I'm not scripted, I'm just like, okay, first thing that comes to my mind, boom. And I've always worked better like that, so no, I don't plan them.
What I've noticed is when I've scripted interviews, I kind of overthink the questions, like different ways to ask it. Or does that sound better, and now I never plan anything.
Yeah, and as well, I feel like if you script them, you'll sit there with like 15 questions on your notes page and you'll be worried that you're going to ask the same person, like a different person, the same question, and you're like, oh, I can't ask like the same question, I have to do different ones. And I feel like if I did it scripted, it would just almost get repetitive. Yeah. But I don't know, yeah, I prefer just non-scripted.
My old interviews, like when I look like a ghost, I look at bright lights, I look at the camera, I'm like, this is Fred Beck, I look so emotionless. And now is how I'm in real life, is how I'm on camera, there's no difference. No, exactly. Just yourself. Yeah. It's like how you are in the interview right now, is how you are in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Exact same.
And we've spent enough time with each other to know how we are in real life. Like, we've chilled together a lot. And I haven't seen a different side to Fred, as you probably haven't seen a different side to me. So we're just the same.
Have you met? Obviously, you've been in this influence game for quite a long time. Have you met? I don't know if you want. You don't have to say their names because that's fair enough. But have you met people that's been completely different on camera to being off camera?
Definitely. But I've met loads of people who you can tell their entire like online persona is just a character, which is completely fine. But I've also met people who are exactly the same. Like JJ, for example, he's the same on camera as he is off camera. Most of the sidemen as well, if not all of them. But then there's people that I won't name, of course, but there's definitely people who aren't the same on camera. But
do you find you get better? You kind of become better friends, better honour them when they're exactly the same.
Almost, as I think sometimes people have a reason for their character being, like, for example, let's say someone has an extremely random character. Like, there's this one guy who wears a hat. I don't know his name, but he wears a hat and he's like always really crazy. But I've seen him on a night out and he's normal. But I feel like sometimes the character they put on, it's almost impossible to be like that in like everyday life. So I don't know, like some people, if their character is really, really hyper or really, really random, I'm not gonna, if they're normal when they're talking to me, it's not gonna affect my friendship with them. And I feel like regardless of whether someone's playing a character or whether someone's being themselves, I'll still get on with them the same.
Is I Show Speed a character, or is it amped up a little, or is it exactly the same?
No, I Show Speed is so random. Like, he is not a character. Like, he is a character, but he is that character, Like, Speed is just Speed. And, I mean, everyone's seen the hyper side to him. Everyone's seen, like, what his life is almost. And he's so open to the internet. And he streams so much that it's almost, if it wasn't him in real life, it would be so hard for him to show that, because he's on stream for, like, countless and countless of hours every day, like, every week. Always streaming, he's always on camera. So if it was a fake character, it's gonna break at some point. But no, he's definitely like that usually. Do
you think he'll calm down over the years? Like JJ, look back at him 10 years ago, he's a lot more crazy, and now I guess he's calmed down a little. Do you think Speedy will stay like that, or do you think he'll become mature and become more adult. I don't want to say adult like that sounds really cruel, but he'll become more or less crazy, more what's the word? More mature, I guess.
I'm not sure, because I feel like when JJ was younger and he was getting into YouTube and stuff like that, he had this crazy character, and he is still a crazy guy. But I feel like where he's doing more things with boxing, more things with music, they're things that are taken really seriously almost. Whereas I feel like YouTube still, to this day, even though people have made massive successes on YouTube and there's the biggest people out there who've come from YouTube, I feel like it's still not taken as seriously as mainstream stuff. So I think if Speed was to get into something more mainstream in 4 or 5 years, then maybe he'd calm down. But I don't know, I think people like him the way he is. I mean, I think he's a funny guy, I'm sure you do as well. So I don't think there's any reason for him to even need to change, even if he did do something more mainstream.
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. He's killing it right now. He's probably one of those kind of trending or viral persons or people on the planet. Like, every time I go on TikTok, it's speed, speed, speed.
Honestly, and his World Cup song as well. They were like, I think they...
Is it an official song now?
No, I think I heard that Nicki Minaj is the official song. However, they did trial it. I saw it on some TikTok ads, so that's crazy. But the fact that they even considered that, that's just completely wild to me.
Is Nicki Minaj's World Cup song out? Has it been released? I don't think it has been.
I don't think so.
So how can they have a song like that and it hasn't been released yet?
I know. So I just saw a thing saying Nicki Minaj confirmed for like the official 2022 World Cup song. Yeah, I saw it on Bread Batch. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, bah. But then in my heart, I was kind of like, I think Speed deserves it. And like, the song fits. Everybody knows Speed. Every single person. Like, I don't know anyone that I've spoken to who doesn't know him. And I feel like that would have been such a good opportunity for Speed. Everyone knows his love for football. And I've seen so many people angry that Nicki Minaj was chosen for the World Cup song. But I haven't heard the song yet. Obviously, I don't think anyone has. So it could be really good and we just don't know about it. But I think people were clinging on to the idea of Speed being the official guy doing the song.
I think it would have helped football in America, or soccer as they call it in America, become even bigger if they had chosen Speed as well.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because USA is obviously in the World Cup. So I think that... Yeah, no, it definitely could have helped. And I think as well, Speed has such a big following everywhere that even, where the World Cup is, like every single country in the World Cup is going to know the song. And it's a catchy song. People want to sing to it, It's so trending on TikTok right now. Everyone knows about it. And I do think it could have done well for American football, soccer.
Hate soccer. Football. That's the way to call it. As you can tell, I don't plan the interviews, so we just talk and talk. But we need to probably go back to the boxing side of things. Yeah. We'll just talk about the normal kind of generation of crossover boxing. If you could make any fight in crossover boxing, apart from the big ones, obviously Jake and KSI and Logan, who would you pick?
Oh my God, this is a good one. You know what? I think... This is a really random one, but I'd love to see Ed Matthews versus Bryce Hall. I've seen that being spoken about online on TikTok. I've seen them on like TikTok Live about it. That's a very random one. Ed obviously has had a fight before. Bryce has had a fight before. And as well, Deji. Like, Deji's really, really impressing me recently. So I would love to just see him go further and further with his boxing career because he has so much potential. And the punch he landed on Mayweather last night was crazy.
What punch was it exactly that kind of hurt Mayweather's eye? Do you know? It was uppercut, hook?
I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was the one when... So I can't remember what it was, but I just heard the crowd go, ooh, because there was people standing in front of me, so I couldn't see. So I was like turned the other way from the ring, and I was watching on like a little screen. But I just saw everyone like, ooh, and then I think it was on maybe round 2 or 3, and then Mayweather went over and they were like touching up his eye, and I was like, yeah, okay, you got him. But, Mayweather was entertaining as well. Like, when he was like, Deji? Yeah. I was like, okay, fair enough, yeah. But I think it should have gone the whole way. I don't think it should have been stopped, if I'm honest. But what do I know?
As long as Deji's okay, that's nice. But were you kind of nervous with Deji, and then when the fight got started, you were kind of like, okay, you were a bit more confident? Because that's kind of how flawed is boxing, or you kind of nervous all the way through until it got stopped?
I feel like... I mean, I know what Deji's capable of course. He's got a great team behind him. And, I mean, I've seen his training and I've seen how much he's improved since some of his recent fights or previous ones. His recent fight a few weeks ago was amazing. That was great. And I wasn't nervous for him. I was excited for him because...
I was really nervous for Deji.
Really?
Yeah.
The reason I was excited is because regardless to whether he won or lost or anything like that, it's still a dub either way. So yeah, I was excited for it.
I never get nervous for anything anymore, but for Deji's fight, when the kind of the glove thing was going on, I was like, they're going to do 10-ounce gloves. I was like, oh, blimey, who's going to be all right?
No,
but luckily he was good.
Yeah. The 14-ounce gloves did stay. But
what was they saved the 14s?
I think it was the 14s, yeah. That's what I saw. But, I mean, I'm not sure. But, yeah, no, last night was a great night, except for the 1 hour and a half that had to be filled. That was because of the gloves. Yeah, I think so.
And Jake Paul not leaving ringside as well.
Yeah. And, Jake's commentating. What was he saying? He was like, Tommy, you have no dick or something. It was ridiculous.
Well, he was swearing on DAZN.
Yeah.
And so, DAZN executives be freaking out today about that.
Really?
Yeah, because that's like the one rule, obviously you can't swear.
Yeah,
I've always thought about it, like...
They just kept saying, like, so sorry for the language, and I was just there like, oh no, but...
There's only so many times you can say it, but I guess if Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, if DAZN is the broadcaster, then they've set it up perfectly for that. Do you think that fight will happen, or do you think it's a bit of a risk?
I don't think it will happen, if I'm honest. Same with the Jake and Andrew Tate one, I don't think that will happen either.
Tate and Jake won't happen.
No.
I know that for a fact. But then, I think there's no point, it's already tried to arrange it twice for Tommy Fury and Jake Paul.
Exactly.
Third time is a charm, they always say though.
Yeah.
You never know.
I did see Tommy post like a TikTok or maybe an Instagram story, and he was saying how his contract was a different weight to the other guys. But I think I saw all the comments, and everyone was just like, oh, like, you're a pussy, you're this, you pulled out, this. What's your thoughts on that? Because...
I feel a bit sorry for Tommy sometimes. I've met him a few times. He's quite a stand-up straight guy.
Yeah.
I know Molly May was there on that night. Tommy's really nice.
Yeah,
I do feel a bit sorry for him sometimes.
Yeah,
she's pregnant as well.
Exactly, yeah, she's pregnant. I mean, and I just know for a fact she was in the dressing room, like, freaking out when the whole thing was going on between Tommy and Jake. But, I mean, it's boxing.
And his dad getting his shirt off, being mad.
That was crazy. I just saw it and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It was so funny, though.
Then, again, it's another viral moment that's getting posted all over social media this morning on TikTok, Instagram, or on all the Instagram fan pages of Big John Fury.
Exactly.
Sometimes I feel he takes away from Tommy Fury sometimes, though. Like, I think when the Jake Paul vs. Tommy Fury press conference was happening, it was all Big John hyping it up with Jake, and going back and forth.
I've seen a few things where Tommy's talking to someone. Even after the fight yesterday, Tommy was talking to Anthony, and Anthony was like, oh, you should have fought me. And John was just like, oh, no, like, Tommy can't talk to you now. We got to do something. But I feel like John always interrupts Tommy. But, I mean, I don't know if I'm right on that, but I feel like he does always butt in. And sometimes, and I've seen comments saying it as well, that he doesn't always give Tommy his moment to shine. Yeah. And it's almost like he wants to be the main character. And I was discussing it yesterday, and I was saying that sometimes I feel like they need to let Tommy step on his own 2 feet and show the world what he can do. But... I don't know.
Sure, Big John's got a big personality. I guess it's time for Tommy to show up his personality. But I've been going for a few minutes here. But what else you got coming up for yourself, Lauren? Apart from the flight, business class, first class? Business. Yeah. What's it like? Is business really nice?
It is nice. Yeah, it's nice. I just usually sleep on flights. Like tonight, I have a shoot through the night, so I'm gonna probably. Sunrise is at 6 a.m. and I've got photos to take at 6 a.m. because I do not do well in the heat at all, so I have to do it when it's like as cool as possible. But where we've moved into this one, it's like there's a breeze, so I'm happy. But yeah, it's currently like 10 p.m. or something, and nearly 10, and I'm shooting until 10 a.m. and then going to the airport. So yeah, I'm excited to be home, see my dogs, and get ready for Texas because I packed for the flight to Dubai an hour before. Forgot my bikinis and have had to spend a ridiculous amount of money on bikinis out here for photos.
How much were they?
But bikinis here have been like 150, 200 pounds each, and I'm like, pounds, yeah. It's like 1,000 dirham nearly.
It's about a third, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's crazy. And I went to the beach club here and bought some, and I bought 6, and it came to 600 pounds. I was just like, okay. I was like, I'm not forgetting my bikinis next time. I bought 1 and it doesn't fit me well.
£600, blimey. Oh. That's a lot. But do you think I should go to sleep tonight? Because my flight's at 10 and it's a 15-hour flight.
No, I think you should sleep on the flight. I think you should
just stay up editing. I've got to do some. I haven't posted on TikTok in ages. Edit some TikToks.
Yeah, do it.
And just doing it all night and get to the airport dead.
Yeah.
So my biggest fear is like sometimes I sleep through my alarm and I can't miss my flight whatsoever.
Yeah, no, don't worry. You got to stay awake, power through. I mean, there's entertainment here if you need it. So yeah, you got power through. What time you got to get to the airport? Probably at 7-ish.
What do they say? Is it 3 or 4 hours?
haul.
Yeah.
4 hours for a long haul. So 6, 7 a.m. Jesus Christ. It's not far away. You'll be fine. You'll easily stay awake.
I haven't packed my bag or anything, so I have to go back and get it all done. That's annoying.
That's a 10-minute job. 10-minute job.
10-minute job. Awesome, Lauren, that's great.